Hello and welcome to the Value of Money, Volume 4 Cryptocurrency. The end is near. It has been 7 years since the last volume. Yes, 7 years. And in that last volume, we hypothesized about Bitcoin being $100,000 per coin. Wow, that was quite the hypothesis, right? Well, there's been a lot of questions I've received recently regarding cryptocurrencies, stable coins, digital assets generally. So I thought I'd give some thoughts. Remember, this is not advice. This is not financial advice, mortgage advice, life advice. This is simply my opinions, and I welcome you to give your thoughts in the comments. Get in touch, give a like, a share, replay, and please do subscribe. And let's try to have a great time together. So, wherever you are, may you know love and serenity, and I hope you're doing well in all things. So, cryptocurrencies or digital currencies or air, as I coined the term in 2017. Look back at volume 3 to see what that means, and you might work out why I termed that coin. So, here we are in 2025, in January to be exact, with some monumental things that have happened and that are about to happen. As we speak, Bitcoin is currently trading at $97,540 per se, depending on what exchange you are trading on. It has reached an all-time high of $108,238. Again, give or take a few dollars, depending on which exchange you were on December 17th, 2024. And it has corrected immediately after that all the way down to $91,494 on December 30th, 2024. So, roughly speaking, did the 240-day post-halving crash happen? You could say that. That represents about an 11% correction, bearing in mind that the last two corrections after the last two cycles or halvings, the correction was about 30% of a drop it back in 2021 and before that 2017. So the 240-day crash is something that has historically happened with cryptocurrencies after 240 days after Bitcoin halving, or when the rewards that are given to Bitcoin miners are essentially halved. Okay, making Bitcoin even more of a scarce uh, asset, if you like. So what's been happening? Um, we've had, of course, the advent of ETFs and some big players. You know who? People like Vanguard, BlackRock, and other, venture capital funds. Dropping or being allowed to drop, as in, launch ETFs or exchange traded funds, which are basically a basket of bonds, stocks, or commodities, or in this case, cryptocurrencies, be it Ethereum or Bitcoin, and possibly XRP slash Ripple in the future, maybe Solana and some others. So basically, some big players like BlackRock have, launched ETFs and have had record inflows, several billion, and they've also had record outflows as well in the last few days, as obviously some people take profit. So this has really helped the price of Bitcoin skyrocket to the levels that we're at now. But if you listen to others like Michael Saylor of Microstrategy or Cathie Wood of ARK, or others like myself who predicted this stuff way, way, way long ago, even before 2017, Bitcoin could hit a million, 2 million. It could be more. It could be zero. Who knows? I mean, it's all a punt, right? As I constantly say, it's just about timing and what the powers that think they be, or they, whoever they are, want to happen. So, how can you take advantage of what's happening if you would like to? So, if we look at the market, there are several cryptocurrencies, there are stable coins, there are meme coins, there are, well, again, air, a lot of air. And it's sometimes difficult to wonder, are you living in the so-called matrix, or is this really happening? Yes, people, it's happening. These opportunities only come along once in a blue moon, be it the dot-com crash, the first major pumping of Bitcoin back and other cryptocurrencies back in 2017, although for some of us who were in this a bit earlier, we took advantage of it a bit before that. And then, of course, the 2021 famous, conspiracy to crash the market in 2021. Those of us who were there know who was involved in that and who to blame, even though they're still in business. So what's happening right now? Well, as Donald Trump prepares to take the Oval Office again as of January 20th, we know he's supposedly going to install a crypto czar, a Bitcoin or crypto friendly SEC head, and we will see if Congress, the Senate, and the House, being controlled by the Republicans, if they will really introduce cryptocurrency legislation as they've promised to do. We'll see. Proof is in the pudding, and what this could really mean. All of these things, as well as what's happening in other jurisdictions, be it Asia and the EU, especially places like Japan, South Korea, and of course the EU and the UK, means that this year promises to probably be the most volatile year in the history of cryptocurrencies. And again, chaos equals opportunity. So what does that mean for you? You'll hear a lot of people talking about investing as much as you can, especially in Bitcoin, as that is the big granddaddy of them all. Bitcoin dominance is very high, which is not really good for any market, but it's the so-called guaranteed bet, although as we all know in investment, there is no such thing. However, we will not be surprised if by the end of 2025, if Bitcoin is at least, and I say at least, at 150,000 dollars per coin, and that's a very, very conservative estimate. It could be a lot more than that, but again, that's by the end of the year. By the end of January, certainly there are expected to be massive gains if again the Americans follow through and a lot of liquidity is added to the market. A lot of people are speculating that China will have a say in this and add a lot of liquidity to the market. Again, if you look at the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies at the moment, we're talking about no more than $3.5 trillion, which sounds like a lot, but really compared to, fiat money, it's actually nothing. When we're talking about fiat money or all the money, that is, in the world that is generated, be it, cash or actual virtual money, like which people use on their credit cards or debit cards or other means, we're talking in the quadrillions if not in the quintillions. So really, if digital assets, or tokenization really becomes a thing this year, as a lot of people are speculating, the sky is really the limit. And so ultimately it's a case of which of these assets is going to give you the biggest ROI or return on investment. That's really what you want to ask yourself, right? And also you've got to ask yourself, do you have the temperament, as in, can you be dispassionate when making decisions where you are able to sell, even if it's your XRP or your Stellar or whatever you've been holding on for a long time? When you hit those markers and it's time for you to sell and take some profit, you really should do it. Do you have the temperament to do that? And you should really test yourself with maybe a small amount to make sure that you can pull that lever, because taking profit is profit. And once certain things come online, be it stable coins, government stable coins, all of this will end anyway. These opportunities will disappear. So hence the title of this podcast. So let's look at investments. So again, Bitcoin, probably, a safe bet, you could say, for good returns, given how, it's jumped up massively. Again, depends how much capital you have. I mean, again, if it jumps to $150,000 per coin, that's a 50% return on investment. If obviously, depending on how much you invest, if you invest $10, you'll get back 5 on top. If you invest 10,000, you'll get back 5,000 on top, and so on and so on. So really, this is depending on how much capital you have. Again, the advice of investing part of your spare capital or disposable income that is truly disposable, that you can afford to lose, again, not financial advice, investing 10 to 20% of that into Bitcoin or something which you believe in every month, to give you life-changing returns, is what a lot of people you'll see are pushing online. Do your own research if you think that's a good idea. Again, when we look through what's in the top 100 at the moment, a lot of it is what some people would term as garbage, or I would like to use the term air. Again, look at volume 3 for what that means. Okay. What are the ones that it's expected to do very well? Again, if we're looking at the chart and all-time highs, current supply, and so forth, it's very interesting. So again, we look at Ethereum, sits at number 2 in the table. Current price about $3,586, give or take a few dollars, depending on which exchange you're on. Total supply currently at 117.841 million coins. Again, a lot of apps, a lot of dApps, a lot of DeFi has been built off Ethereum. NFTs are built on a lot of Ethereum, even though that's changing, of course, with Solana and other things now. Not close to its all-time high, which is 4,861, but again, a lot of people are bullish on this, but when I look at this realistically, I look at return on investment. How high can it really go to? Okay, it goes to 5,000. Not the greatest return, to be honest. You'd be better off investing in BTC. Again, do your own research. Then we look at the stable coins. Again, stable coins are not really for you or me. Let's be honest. They're for institutions to protect their money. They're for governments. Ultimately, stable coins, which are not really digital currencies, when the government, CBDCs, as in central bank digital tokens are issued, coins are issued, that's basically the end of all of this whole racket will be up. They will control everything essentially, and so that's what you really need to look into. But also there are opportunities when you think about a coin like Quant, which for some reason at the moment is currently languishing down at number 74, depending on what chart you're looking at. If it's linecoinwatch.com or CoinGecko, it's around the 74, 70-ish figure. Again, currently trading $120 per coin, all-time high of 427. But interestingly, only a max supply of 14.612 million. Its founder, Gilbert Verdian, is linked to everybody, HSBC, Bank of England, you name it, he's got his hands in it. This is one to definitely keep an eye on, because if this does as it says it's supposed to do and all the connections become true, do not be surprised if QNT Quant has a massive spike. We shall see. A lot of people have been holding on to that for a long time. Then we look at others that people are bullish about. Let's go through them. So we've got, for example, we've got Solana, which of course, a lot of ecosystems have been built on this. A lot of people think this will maybe do a 2x, but again, is that a great return? It depends how much you've already got invested. It depends what point you invested in yourself. Then we've got, I'm not going to talk about Doge because as far as I'm concerned, again, what's the utility? So what if Elon Musk says he's using it? Irrelevant. Do your own research. If you've had Doge since way back before Elon, then obviously, of course, you're laughing. Then we have Cardano or Tron. Not interested personally. We keep going. Skip meme coins. Then we have Sui. Of course, a lot of people like Raoul Pal and others are behind this. But again, when did you get in on this? If you, of course, got in from the beginning or close to the beginning, as they did, of course. I mean, Raoul Pal sits on the board of directors. Then, of course, you're probably going to be happy with this because this will probably continue to go up. XLM, one of the original interesting coins. I had this way back before anyone knew about this. I can't complain about the 16,000% return I got back in the day. Beautiful speed wise for transferring assets. Had a massive spike, of course, recently, 28% up on the week. But again, when you look at its all-time high, which is just around double of what it currently is it the best return on investment when there's a total supply of 50 billion? Hard to say, I would say. Then we keep going. H-bar, a lot of people are bullish on this, but again, look at its supply, look at its all-time high. Is it one to really look at? I'm not sure myself. Then we keep going down the list. There's a bunch of junk. Again, a lot of stuff that's overinflated. Again, you really got to look behind the teams behind, some of these coins. Then you look at, its all-time high. Then you look at its total supply. You look at, are there any other things that do what it does that are similar? Because look, all the money can, is not going to be spread everywhere. Eventually, there's going to be a lot of consolidation, and a lot of these coins will not exist, very soon. And so we keep going, virtual protocol. Of course, this is the AI one. A lot of people are hot on it. But again, when you look at how much has already been invested in that, its current price, which considering it's got a total supply of 1.483 billion, rather overinflated, I would say. But again, if you're one of the people who got in very early on this and you had the airdrop to you, you are not complaining. You're laughing, of course, actually, because it's all profit for you. Then we keep going, we keep going, we keep going down, a bunch more junk, a bunch more junk. We talked about QNT, keep an eye on that one. Definitely undervalued in our opinion. And then I look at the rest of the 100. Some big former coins are down there. Then we have, of course, XDC, which a lot of people are very bullish on. But again, unless you got in very, very early on this, then really return on investment, I don't really see it, despite what you hear. Then we've got Aero, which a lot of let's just say institutions are behind. It's done reasonably well. If you look at the 90-day average, up 33%. A lot of money has been invested in this, but again, is it one where you're going to get a great return on investment? With a 1.44 billion total supply and current price at 1.57 dollars, maybe a 2x, maybe a 3x, but again, it's currently just over half of its current all-time high, which was $2.35. So interesting one there, but one to maybe keep an eye on depending on how much capital you have. So the top 100 at the moment, not really a lot of gems there, I would say. Maybe 4 or 5 really that really are worth maybe investing in. Again, not financial advice, do your own research. I'm sure some of you will be upset and you'll have your own ideas about which ones should you invest in. But again, put your comments in put your ideas in the comments. No soliciting, please. No fake links. Please be careful, everyone. There's, as you know, from day one, there's been scams with crypto, as there are with anything to do with, of course, money. So again, ones to maybe keep an eye on: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, QNT, SUI. And of course, there's always the random ones. There's always random projects that come out of nowhere. That's why you've got to do your own research. You've got to keep your ear to the ground, because again, this opportunity will only come around one more time, in our opinion, and that will be this year, and then that will be on to whatever the next big thing is. And if you took advantage of this opportunity, you took advantage of it. If you didn't, you didn't. So again, do your research. Potential way for you to generate life-changing money or not. Be very, very careful. Remember, only use money, your disposable income, which you're willing to lose and go to a zero. Have your targets, stick to your targets no matter what. Don't listen to others. Do your own research, basically. Again, I'm just providing information. It's up to you what you do with it. This is not really advice. It's just what I think is happening right now, given all the questions I've had recently. Gold. Yes, gold keeps appreciating. Everybody knows that. I mean, again, gold, what's its use case? I mean, I personally think, look, gold is a shiny metal. I've never really understood jewelry personally, but gold does have uses when it comes to the science. I think that's actually much more important if we maybe focused on that. But of course, it is an appreciating asset. So is it something to hold? You decide. I mean, obviously, a lot of women will tell you as gold being, a dowry gift, or, something that was passed down to them from family, and being a, useful asset which they've been able to sell and obviously generate money with. It's useful for that. So maybe worth looking at there. But ultimately, as I said, the title of this volume is Cryptocurrency, the End is Near. Once central banks issue their stablecoins or their CBDCs, or all of this will basically end. They will control everything. I think those of you who understand what is really going on here have known this, obviously, from day one, as we have. So that's what's worth keeping an eye on. An asset is only something we ascribe a value to, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, whether it's your family. Family, of course, should not be an asset. They are priceless, really, as is water, as is sanity, as is love, as is friendship. These are the things that are really worth the most, and that's what you should really cherish and cultivate. All this other stuff which we call money or assets, really they're just a mean to an end, and down to luck, timing, and hard work. There's no substitute for hard work in ever, to be honest. So wherever you are, I hope it's a great year for you. Again, I'm sure there'll be lots of comments. Don't get upset. Treat this as a positive exercise. We're here to try to help, each other, and hope you're doing well wherever you are, and look forward to hearing from you. So, without further ado, I'll let you do the talking. Take care.